Today, going through the Circa-Max bench phase. Again, Circa-Max doesn't just have to be reserved for the squat. It can be done with the bench and the deadlift. I just started my warm-up sets. Did the bar for 10, going to 95 now. Real important to get the warm-up in. Did a general warm-up first. Now I'm warming up with the bar. So this will be my specific warm-up. And probably do about three more warm-up sets before I go to my actual weight. Just want to make sure everything's feeling right. My pec's been bothering me for probably almost 2 months now. So it's not completely torn or anything. I can still bench, but it is painful. So got to make sure, got to take care of it. Got to make sure it's good and warmed up. The bar, just 95. I'll go 115, probably 135, and then we'll roll from there. We got the monster mini bands on the bar, Circa-Max, so I'm increasing the band tension, or it's kind of a moderate band tension, moderate weight type of thing. So the monster minis add about 114, 115 pounds at the top, and it's about 41% of my bench. My bench is definitely not my highlight. Something I've worked very hard at, and still to this day, I've been training for well over 30 years, still trying to figure out what things actually make it go. It is way down from when I was competing, but always trying to make progress, no matter what my age or where I'm at. I'm trying to figure out how to make progress. One of the things a lot of younger lifters do, even some older ones that don't like to change, they wear themselves out in the warm-up. And, most of them do. That you want to start light. There are some guys that'll just jump in, maybe do one. They bench 300, so they jump in at 185 or 225 for their first set and then go straight to their weight. I don't think a lot of guys do that, but some guys do. But the biggest problem I see is that they do too much. They'll start light, but they're doing sets of 20, and then they do a set of 10, then they do a set of 8, and then another set of 8, and then a set of 6. By the time they get to their work sets, they're already worn out. So keep the reps low. You don't need to be doing a ton of reps. I'm gonna get some chalk. You don't need a ton of reps, but you need to get a little bit in because you want your body and your nervous system to adjust to both the technique, or actually three things. The technique that you're gonna be utilizing, the weight that you're gonna end up getting to at your top sets, and then combine the weight plus the technique. Because you can have good technique at the lighter weights, and by the time you get to the heavy ones, it's been thrown out the window. So you need to build up that technique and let your technique adjust to the weight that you have on the bar. So you're gonna see on this one, I'm gonna go to my actual, what I call my competition setup. So I'm gonna shoot through and then take my arch, getting back underneath the bar. That helps me stay tight, helps me get a good stable base. Usually the first one on this set my first warm up with the arch, or any set with the arch, I'm a little rough on it. And after that, I feel better. All right, so my work weight today will be 155 plus that 115 pounds of band tension. Comes up to about 96% at the top. And you can do the math and see that this isn't, my bench isn't real great, but still working on it. And so it's 115 pounds of band tension, about 155 pounds of bar weight. We're gonna do 3 sets of 3 here. And then if everything goes well, right now my pec, I'm not feeling my pec at all. That's the first time in about 2 months that I've done anything and haven't felt my pec. Sometimes it comes in when I get to the work sets, so we'll see how it goes here. I'm gonna grab some more chalk and be ready to roll. I do time my rest. I'm trying to keep my rest fairly low. I try to keep all the parameters of normal dynamic effort training the same, okay? Except for obviously the bar weight's going to be kind of moderate and the band tension is going to be kind of moderate, making it very heavy. But try to keep my rest the same. Try to keep my bar speed as high as possible. Main goal, rate of force development, always in dynamic effort training. Rate of force development's first, technique is second, but very close. Technique always needs to be spot on. So, and then keeping that short rest time between sets. One more set here, and then should be working up after that. It is definitely hitting me hard. As far as just effort and intensity, we are looking, reasonably so. Circa-Max is not supposed to be easy. And math on it is supposed to be around 96% at the top. So I expected it to move a little bit better than what it is, but regardless, it was still going to be heavy. And this training cycle is not went as planned, definitely at all. This is the 3rd week of it. I had kind of tweaked my back in week 1 on deadlift. My first week of Circa-Max bench, I did floor press. And that does not compare. Week 2, I didn't do my competition setup except for 1 set because my back was still a little bothering me. Back still up pretty good. So now we're in week 3, and just had Circa-Max deadlifts and worked up after that the other day. Like I said, my back is healing up very well actually. And now we're on Circa-Max bench, for the last workout of the block before we go to a deload and then on to testing. So I'm gonna grab a spotter and we're gonna get it rolling on this. Alright, so the goal here is to work up with 2 to 3 singles, preferably 3, so I'll probably take some pretty small jumps. The goal is to start handling some heavier weights, get your body to adjust to as much as possible, still increase rate of force development, get the highest rate of force development you can possibly get, and go back to technique. Keep your technique locked in on those heavy sets. It was definitely faltering on that last set, but that was a triple, and these are only singles, so it's a little bit easier to keep it locked in for the whole set. But then also, the goal is to not fail, okay? You don't want to overstress your system when you're going in. Anytime, you don't really need to fail unless you're a bodybuilder. You don't need to fail a whole lot. You can train a lot of strength and a lot of power stuff without failing, getting good quality reps. And it looks like I'm going to get some additional help here. 1, 2. That was 165, we'll go 175 next. Another thing, you're probably not seen it all, but breathing is very important anytime you're lifting and how you breathe. And I had a post on Facebook the other day on the Iron with Strength Facebook page. Talked about breathing. Use deadlift as an example, but the same thing is true in bench, squat, clean. Your breathing needs to be locked in. So actually take a breath as I'm getting the lift off. So if I'm doing it on my own, I take my breath before I take my lift off. And then I hold that breath if I'm doing singles throughout that entire single. I may let some out on the way up, and that's about it. And then when I'm getting a lift off, I actually time it. So my counting is 1, 2, I don't say 3. In place of 3, I'm taking a breath and I'm taking the bar out. So that allows me to hold it just a little bit longer. And see, talking and videoing, putting wrist wraps on is a little bit too much for my mind to wrap around. So you gotta keep things simple. Alright, so we'll go for number 2 here. I'll get some chalk first. 1, 2. Alright, so I'll go one more. Go 185. And then we'll shut it down after that. Just 45 on. Hit this one, and then we'll move on the rest of the workout. We got incline work, which is kind of high volume, a lot of reps, and then we'll get our assistance work after that. Do some triceps, kind of a higher volume triceps day. Really knocking out a lot of reps on band push downs. Do some bicep work, do some upper back work, probably finish with some high rep dips, some high rep push-ups, and then that'll be it for the day. So get some more chalk and knock this one out. Circa-Max, it's all about preparing yourself for maximal lifts. The squat protocol follows very closely to Louis' protocol that they use at Westside, and I know there's a few different versions of it, but this is definitely one of them. It's one I kind of locked onto and liked. So this is the 3rd week, 3 sets of 3. instead of the 3 sets of 2 that they would do on squat. 3 sets of 3 and then work up. But it is just about getting yourself ready to handle maximum weights. And the bands actually, whether you're raw or equipped, bands actually do a very good job of it. 1, 2.
Come on.
There it is. 3 sets of 3. When I worked up, the 3 sets of 3 is at 155 plus the monster minis. When I worked up, kept the monster minis on the bar, went 165, 175, finished at 185. So 115 pounds of band tension. It's putting me right around 300 pounds. So that doesn't mean that's nothing to really need to worry about. It's just kind of fun knowledge to know. But hopefully this is getting my bench a little bit better than it was 6 months ago.